Hello and welcome back. Today we have a really great interview with our amazing volunteer, Amalia. She has been with us in Zimbabwe, Sri Lanka, and Kenya over several years. And she's actually right now in Bali. You could probably see a little bit of that on our Instagram and our Facebook. Go check her out and give her a follow. In this interview, we spoke to her before her Bali trip, and she gets to talk about her experience with GoEco over the years and in different countries, the idea of volunteering and travel and tourism and impact, and her perspective as a solo female traveler is so awesome. We talk about that quite a bit here. I hope you enjoy this interview. This is definitely not the last time we hear from Amalia, so go ahead and check it out. Hi. Oh my gosh.
Hi.
Excited to chat with you.
Oh, me too. Me too, really. It's so nice to finally speak you.
Thank you again for taking the time. We really want people to feel safe and secure and know that we really vet these programs, really care about each person that goes. And so you've been with GoEco now several times in several programs in different countries. How do you feel, your experience with us was overall?
No, my experience with GoEco has always been perfect. This is why I'm not even researching any other volunteer organizations and I'm not going with other volunteering organizations. It's just, this is the main part of it is because everything is so well planned and there's a lot of great support into organizing everything. For example, like even those document links that you send, it's actually really useful for you because you get to keep tabs on everything, but it's really useful for me because I also know where I have all my stuff and I don't have to organize it myself. And just in general, for every issue that I've had or question that I've had, I've been receiving very prompt responses and support from your team. So overall, for me, has always been a great experience where I felt incredibly safe. Exactly what you were saying about solo female travelers. I don't know how many solo female travelers you get, but I guess it's a community of people that overall prioritizes that safety and reassurance more than others because it can be quite scary, especially at first if you haven't done it before. At this point, I'm basically always a solo female traveler, and I don't even want to go places with other people. Like, I love that I can connect. And this is what I love about GoEco the most, that it's so well planned. It makes you feel so secure, and you always kind of have that safety net that, okay, if everything goes wrong, if something on the project doesn't go well, or I have some sort of medical issue, I can always contact GoEco. And that actually happened to me in Sri Lanka. And you guys have been of great support of connecting the guide that was with me and sending him to like a really good resource to get to a really good dentist in time. So it's been of great support.
Yeah, that's so cool. I was actually going to ask you, like, we talk about what goes right on these trips all the time, but travel is dynamic and nothing ever goes right 100% of the time. So I was going to ask you of all the times, like, what's the thing that went wrong that you felt that gave you good support for?
Yeah, I had a canceled flight. And because of that canceled flight, I had to cancel all the other flights because I was missing them. And that happened right before the trip. I had to organize with you a different pickup date with a different pickup hour, but still everything went very smooth. I was very concerned initially, like, oh my God, I'm going to miss like the departure. Pickup person is going to be at the airport. I'm going to come like 2 days later. It was a big delay because there were big layovers in between
Oh,
them. It all worked out
yeah.
fine. I just got there 2 days
Yeah,
later.
yeah. So cool. I love that. That's really honestly what traveling with an organization does, right? Like we're there to help when things go wrong.
It takes the pressure off of you. So that's really important for me because dealing with the logistics is sometimes overwhelming. But when you have an organization that helps you deal with that logistic, it making the overall process so much more pleasant, let's say.
Yeah, that's awesome. Especially for busy people. Like you're a busy, hardworking person. So huge benefit there. Your first trip was Zimbabwe, directly, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So let's just start there. If somebody asked you, what about Zimbabwe? Why should I go there?
Well, Zimbabwe for me is also very special because it was my first trip ever. What I loved of it is how wild it is because the experiences I've had in Zimbabwe, I've never had anywhere else. And they've raised the bar to a level that now I'm kind of displeased with a lot of wildlife safaris and everything I'm doing. It did not even Kenya manage to beat Zimbabwe in terms of how well immersed it gets you into the, let's say, explorer, I'm out in the wild vibe. And still keeping everything very safe. There's always someone there. There's always backup. The biggest highlight is seeing the rhinos, which are, first of all, incredibly rare to see in general. The experience overall of going by foot and searching for them and talking to rangers and like looking at the compass and going off the beaten track to find them and to be like 5 meters away from them on foot. That is still, that lives forever in my mind. It was
That's
so special.
amazing. I've been to Zimbabwe too, and I did that exact thing. And it's I think the scariest thing I've ever done. It's like in the most like amazing way. So
Exactly.
yeah.
You just get such an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
That was one of the mains. And another thing, especially that I loved about the project in Zimbabwe, was that it was very educational and the people, the staff on the spot, it really helped me understand and identify what means ethical and non-ethical animal interactions. Because you see a lot of stuff on the internet and there's a lot of trending stuff right now that I see all the time and people are book experiences that are actually unethical. So it's been great for me to learn that compass there from those experienced people so that I can navigate these kind of experiences better by myself and also educate other people that are looking into it and being like, hey, that's probably not right. You should probably go to something that goes more a little bit like this, where you know that the animals are not getting abused. And if you really care and you really want to make a positive impact, you should be mindful of those things. And that is where I got that education.
Yeah. That's such an important part of what we believe in here too at GoEco. So what's like the biggest tip you have then for somebody who wants to go to that program?
Just to go there with an open mind and heart and be willing to experience discomfort because there's going to be a lot of reward that comes out of it. The project itself is very demanding, like physically demanding. The work can get hardcore, but at the end of it, I was way more rested than any typical chilling holiday because it was such a mental cleanse and it just feels good. But you should be able to embrace that discomfort.
So you did in Sri Lanka the sea turtle rehab, but you also did the whole adventure tour where you went around the country.
Yes, yes, I did the adventure tour, and also because we were all there together, I also got involved a bit in the environment project, which I really loved. That we got a couple of days to get involved with the environment project, which was kind of a bonus, but everybody was there in the same house, so we all got to go together. And the people from the environment came to the sea turtle, and overall, Sri Lanka was an amazing place. I miss it.
So, okay, the Sri Lanka is very different than the Zimbabwe program. Like you said,
Yes,
because there's a hub of one
yes.
up to your house with lots of different projects going on. So tell me about like what was it like? What was life like there?
Yes, it was very different. It was very vibrant. Definitely Sri Lanka. I would recommend Sri Lanka more for people who really want to also have fun and meet and connect with a lot of people. At the time that I was there, I think the volunteer house, we were like 40 to 45 people in the house. There's people from all different countries. I've seen so much diversity there, literally from all around the world. It's definitely, in terms of the volunteer project, they're more chill in general. Sri Lankan people are very chill and very relaxed. So even though it is physically demanding, the working hours are shorter. You'll definitely have more time to just explore Sri Lanka and you have lots of time to explore the full city and everything it has to offer. It's very fun. You have lots of opportunities to party with all the volunteers that you meet. So that is a really nice mixture of volunteer work, doing meaningful tasks and helping the community there, and having crazy fun with friends that you make there. I'm still in contact with people that I met there and we're still like really good friends. It was a really wholesome experience. It's one of the
Cool.
most underrated destinations in the world, in my opinion. Like,
Love it.
I was so impressed.
Yeah, that's super cool. What was it like on the turtle program?
It was wholesome. If I could describe it in one word, it was wholesome. I got to meet every single turtle. All of them have names. You
Huh.
learn their stories, their problems, why they're there, why they're not in the ocean. I'll forever remember George, who's this turtle that had too much plastic in his stomach and it cannot dive. So we would always, every day, would go there and would push him under the water. He was so excited to stay under the water. And just seeing the baby turtles come out of the eggs, like you're literally witnessing life happen. And then like releasing the baby turtles in the ocean and learning about all the risks it's kind of bittersweet, but it's so, so wholesome. And you get to have also a lot of fun doing the work because it's by the ocean, it's by the sea. You're just in an overall very good atmosphere. It's such good vibes. But this was my feedback for the turtle project, that it should be longer. Like I felt like the work was too little. They would only keep us there for 4 hours. I was like, please keep us here more. I want to stay here more.
Yeah. And tell me about the tour.
Yes, the tour takes you everywhere. The tour is packed. So it's 7 days. You do everything in 7 days. It's definitely for people that really don't mind always packing and unpacking, because you're changing destination every single day. So it gives you a really good glimpse into what the people are living like in different areas of the countries. You learn a lot about Buddhism. You get to visit temple of Tooth Relic, and it was a very spiritual experience. You go barefoot in it. You get to do so many things. You get to do adventure stuff, river rafting. You see all those bridges through the jungle. You go hiking at sunrise. It's really fun, but it's really packed. So I was a bit tired at the end of the tour, but I definitely recommend it. I'm
Oh,
so
there.
happy I booked the tour as well, because I feel like without it, the experience wouldn't have been complete.
That's awesome. Yeah, we really try to tell people how much you'll see and how much you'll do. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, I would recommend to do the tour after the volunteer project, just because I didn't know the people. It would be much better if you do the volunteer, you get a chance to meet with the people, bond with them, and then do the tour. That's how I feel like the experience is best. But that was just my logistical dates
Yeah.
thing that, so it was my choice to do it ahead.
If you had advice for somebody going to Sri Lanka now, they're going next week, what would you tell them?
To really research the culture and a little bit about Buddhism and about how people perceive you, and just to be mindful not to disrespect people, because there's certain customs and certain things that Sri Lankans might consider disrespectful. But in Sri Lanka, especially because they really practice Buddhism and they really take those rules by heart, if I'm gonna say like concrete examples, if you're a woman, just be mindful of your attire and what you're dressing. I always like to get immersed and actually buy the stuff. Like I bought a sari in Sri Lanka to wear a sari around there. So that would be my number one advice, and especially for female travelers.
That's cool. Did you feel like the local staff on the programs were very helpful in trying to communicate the do's and the don'ts and the culture?
Everything you needed to know, they would tell you. And they were also very nice into communicating to you if you should be or shouldn't be doing something. They were really respectful and mindful. I loved the project stuff as well.
And then next, we have Kenya, which was the most recent.
Yeah, Kenya was recent. I'm still not over it.
Yeah, I know the feeling. So this was a research program, very different than the other programs that you've done. What did you fall in love with? What was different about it?
Well, the most different thing about it is the fact that you have zero interaction with the animals because these are fully wild animals, fully in their natural habitat. There's two conservancies where you go and you conduct research. One of them still has fences, but very few of them. The other one has no fences. So it's very much about observation and learning about the environment and learning about the animals. I would say out of all of them, it was my favorite because I love animals so much and I connect with animals so well. And I love seeing them fully wild, fully in their natural habitat. I really liked the fact that nothing felt rushed.
Mm.
If I felt the need to just sit and observe one animal, particular animal for however long, sometimes it would be 30 minutes, sometimes it would be 5 hours, depending on what I was trying to see from that animal. I feel like I learned so much more about animal behavior and how humans and animals and livestock coexist together in the same environment. It was pretty adventurous, but it was very chill adventurous. I could definitely do more. As I told you, after Zimbabwe, nothing beats that. I loved, of course, taking photos because this is like one of my number one passions at the time is photography and especially wildlife photography. So just on a personal level, it was exactly what I wanted to do, just to take pictures of animals. For me, it was more about disconnecting completely from society and just going into the wild and be with myself and my thoughts. So I love that about this project.
I know in the Kenya program, there's also like a lot of cultural immersion with the Maasai Mara people. What was that like?
Yes, it was really strange for me in the moment because seeing the Maasai and how they live and some of the things they do and their daily activities, it put a lot into perspective my life and how privileged it is. I've had the privilege to go to one of the Maasai people homes and see one of their regular mornings, waking up at crack of dawn, milking the cows, taking the cows out, doing beads. I've listened to the story of a matriarch of that family I visited to, how she got married and how she moved from a conservancy to another. It was a really powerful story. And it really makes you feel grateful for your life, especially when you're coming from like a Western country. But seeing these people's lives and what they deal with, washing their clothes by the river in the sun, carrying the water, which is heavy. I carried some of those buckets, they are heavy. It just made me feel so grateful for my own life and appreciate the privileges I get way more. One thing about the Maasai is that they're so kind and optimistic about everything. They are, everything about them is a community. They're not in competition with one another. They always smile at each other. They always stop to talk to each other. My guide, being from the Maasai community, he would always stop the car whenever someone passed by and just say hello and say a few words and then would move on, which was really impressive. Kids were always really excited to see me. I guess they don't often see people that do not look like them. So they were always so wholesome and they always wanted to play with me. And it was just really heartwarming, I would say. One of those experiences that kind of changes your perspective on life. You never really internalize it to such a profound level
Mhm.
compared to when you actually go and you stay and live with those people and get to experience their daily life. And I feel like through volunteering, you get to do that a lot more because you can also go to like camps and do safari holidays, but that's very curated experience where you don't really get to see the truth. And I feel like you miss out on that profoundness. versus going to volunteer and actually going to a real place in the community, not something that was especially designed for tourism.
That's such a good point, and we really love emphasizing that. People often ask us what's the biggest difference between travel and tourism and volunteering and tourism. And that's usually what we try to emphasize is you're going to places that tourists typically don't go. You're also staying longer in one spot to really be immersed in the community, right? And you get to experience things beyond the tourist type experience. Did you feel that way in all the countries that you went to?
Yes. Yes, yes. This is valid for all the countries. I've had experiences like this in all the countries where I felt that. This was just the most recent one, but in every place I've had the same thing, seeing how the locals live and being more grateful for my life. Other times I would think that these people have it better than me. They have less than me, but they have it better than me. I I spend too much time getting stressed and worked up about the things that are actually meaningless, and I'm missing out on the real value which these people really get to experience. So it's a mixture of both.
Such an interesting mix. Joy.
Exactly. The joy of everyday living and being so excited to just be together, and
Mhm.
the gratefulness I see in these people for everything they have,
Yeah.
which we sometimes forget. And when you volunteer travel, you remember that. It's good to get these reality checks and to really take some time to just be grateful and appreciate the simple things.
If somebody came to you who's never really even heard about volunteering tourism, a lot of people don't even know you can do this. What would be your best summary of why volunteer and travel versus just travel?
I would say volunteer travels really help get a real taste of the place you're going to, of the people, of the culture, of what the country has to offer. You let go of a lot of control when you go and volunteer travel. You kind of just go and then you do whatever you're being told that needs to be done in that volunteer program arranged for you, but it's not arranged in the agency tourism type of way where you need to be as comfortable as possible and you need to be as relaxed as possible. But it's more of you need to really see what this place is all about. I actually only feel like I truly got to experience the countries where I volunteered. I never get that feeling when I travel by myself and I book by myself and I book all kinds of different tours. I just never get that experience. It has that fakeness to really strong dose of realism, of truth, I would say. Whereas just regular travel, it's a bit of a lie. You get to see the best of the country, but the best of a country, it's never the truth of a country. It just makes it more real. That I think that's the summary. It's a real experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's funny, you said in the beginning, I don't know how many solo female travelers we get, but we run the statistics and about 75% of volunteering travel is female. So it's,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
I know, like it's amazing.
I did not
Little
expect that. I was expecting the opposite. This makes sense that females would want to do that.
Yeah, women are leading the way when it comes to this type of really meaningful travel, where the focus, like you said, is not on me as a tourist, it's on the community that I'm going. What advice would you have to a young woman who wants to travel on her own and is maybe a bit nervous, but is considering volunteer travel as a way to do that safely?
To go for it. To go for it because it's the best thing you can do for yourself. I don't say this lightly. Volunteer traveling has been the best thing I've done for myself. And it's one of the things I'm most proud of, and that it really defined the way I look at myself. It gave me confidence. It gave me so much more self respect. It proved to me that I can do things. It made me realize that I can actually make a difference into the things that I care about and I'm passionate about. There's so many great things that come out of it. The only thing that you need to have is to just be open to the experience and not live with expectations, not make movies in your head about what it's going to be like, but just go with the flow and experience things as they come.
Mhm.
And if you do that, it's going to be the best experience that they can have.
That's awesome. So cool. You put it together so nicely. Yeah, I agree. Well, that's the end of my official questions, but I could ask you questions all day.
That's really awesome. And I will reach out to you very soon. I just need to finish these couple of weeks and I'll reach out to you for my extended tour of Southeast Asia in the volunteer way. I visited multiple countries there, non volunteering, and I was very disappointed. I got scammed on some ethical experiences with animals. I got very disappointed. So I want to redo it with you.
That's awesome. We'll do it right. That's for sure.
Yes.
That's what we're here for. We've been around for 20 years, GoEco. We know the places not to go. We've done the trial and the error so that you don't have to. So
That's
that's
awesome.
yeah.
What the world needs.
And I agree. I totally agree.
Okay. Have a good one. Bye.